What's up, Net Soldiers? I'm Net Alliance, and today I'm doing an Ask Net on The Last Jedi specifically. So yesterday on YouTube, using my community tab, I asked you guys for all of your Last Jedi specific questions that you would like me to answer, and essentially the top 10 questions I would answer on a video. And I actually use that community tab a lot, so I would recommend checking that out every so often. I post pictures, polls, stuff like that, just a lot of stuff for the community, so I think it's really cool if you would check that out. Now with that said, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn notifications for more Star Wars content. And let's begin with the first question. Our first question is from Wyatt, and he asked, how do you feel about the green milk scene? Now for me, I think this scene is kind of okay. I mean, when I first saw it, I was kind of like, what the heck? And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, Luke is alone on this island. You know, there's not much other resources he can go for. As we saw, he can hunt for fish. I'm sure he ate a few porgs in the past, and he needs to be able to get that calcium and extra vitamins from somewhere, so I guess, if anything, there. So yes, while I feel this was out of place, it also is just kind of like alright to me, so I don't actually hate it that much. I know a lot of people don't like this scene, but it's okay to me. Okay, this person kind of cheated, but I'm going to do both questions anyways. So the first question from the Grand Admiral. Do you think Luke will be a Force ghost with Anakin, Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon helping Rey? I really hope so. I was kind of hoping to see Ian McGregor or even Hayden Christensen in this film, but unfortunately we didn't get it. So it would be cool to see the whole band together. You know, we have Qui-Gon chilling there, Liam Neeson, you know, we got Ian McGregor as Obi-Wan chilling there, we got Luke Skywalker, Yoda, Anakin. It'd just be cool to see all these Jedi Masters through these different generations and these different traumas and experiences, just kind of all hanging out like, yo, we're all bros, you know? And I'm almost positive we're going to be seeing Luke in the next one, and we're definitely going to be seeing Yoda again. And I'm pretty sure we might see Obi-Wan, Anakin maybe not, and I'm pretty sure Qui-Gon's not going to be in there either. But it would definitely be awesome to see all of them there. And for the next question, who do you think Leia's allies are? Could be Mandalorians, Chiss, or Lando. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Lando Calrissian. I do think that Lando is going to be in the next film, and he's going to have a pretty big part, so I'd be looking forward to that. I was actually surprised that Lando wasn't in this one. In fact, I actually proposed that Lando should have been in the casino scene at some point. So I was actually surprised when we got there and we didn't recognize anyone. So I don't believe they're going to bring in the Mandalorians or the Chiss, although that would be cool to see the Mandalorians fighting, especially around this time because Sabine would be pretty old by this point and she probably would still be in charge of the Mandalorians if she survived Rebels. So that would be pretty cool to see Sabine in there, but I highly doubt it. However, I feel Lando is a surefire pick for episode 9. Next question is from Sam Russell, and he asks, how did you feel about the Leia scene where she got shot out of the ship and then she used the Force to pull herself back in? Was it cool, or did you not think it was cool? So when I first saw Leia get knocked out of the cockpit, I was actually like, wow, that's how they killed off Leia. It kind of made me mad at first, but then it also kind of made me go, huh. You know, like, maybe that's the way she should go. I mean, a character of her caliber should have a more significant death. And there were a couple times in this movie where they could have just killed her off because, you know, Carrie Fisher is dead in real life, but then they didn't. So I'm wondering if they're gonna keep her around to be kind of like a martyr for the future film. I don't know. It'd be pretty interesting. Like, that's kind of like Leia's death is the thing that brings the rebels all together to take down the First Order. That'd be pretty interesting. But as far as her using the Force, I thought it was cool. I always wondered why Leia never learned the Force, and this kind of shows that, hey, she did learn the Force, at least a little bit. Luke must have taught her just a few little things, but just enough for her to be able to use it. So although the scene felt kind of odd, I think overall it was pretty cool. This next question is from Jag, and he said, how do you think they will continue Leia's story now that Carrie Fisher has passed away? Now, I kind of just touched on this a little bit, so it's interesting that this is the next one I picked. I think that episode 9 is actually going to begin with Leia's funeral. And like I mentioned in the past question, Leia's death would kind of be the thing that brings the entire Rebel Alliance together. So we wouldn't actually see Leia die, because I'm going to guess that they're going to skip some time in between episode 9 and 8. So perhaps she does die off screen, or in the very beginning, she sacrifices herself to let everyone else escape. And that's kind of like the martyr that makes everyone go, you know what? We got to do this. This is the symbol. Let's go take down the First Order. And maybe that's when Poe takes over the Republic fleet and he has Lando helping him out there. And of course he has Rey on his other side, you know, being like his general or something like that. Maybe because she's got lightsabers and Force always help in combat. So although I do think that they will continue her story to a point, I think overall her death is going to be a big point in the next film, even if it's not actually in the film or if it's the predecessor to the film, maybe in the opening crawl or something. Whatever the case, I'm actually pretty excited to see what they're going to do with her. This next question is from King Triceratops, and he says, what do you think the claw that Rose has in the film means? Okay, so that little claw thing is actually one piece of a 2-piece necklace. If you are to rewatch the film, the Asian woman in the beginning of Last Jedi who sacrifices herself to take down the Dreadnought, that was actually Rose's sister, and she actually had the other piece to that necklace. And that's why it's so significant to Rose, because she has the one half and her sister had the other half, and her sister just died, so it's kind of a big deal. Next one is from Cosman, and he says, do you really believe that Rey's parents were junkers? No. I'm pretty sure Kylo just kind of used that to manipulate her a little bit. Either that, or he did research on her and that's what he could figure out. or that's what he was told by Snoke. So it could be that he doesn't even know the true truth. So I'm not particularly saying her parents are important characters, but I do believe they have more significance than just kind of being said, oh, they're just junkers who sold you for booze. I definitely feel there is more to their characters. Maybe Rey meets them in episode 9, something like that. That'd be pretty interesting. How would she react? You know, it's a fun question. Next question is from Gary Jones, and he asks, do you like Rose? She was an okay character. She didn't really have to be there. I don't really think she needed to exist as a character, but she was alright. You know, it's an interesting character. I get the whole thing between her sister and her, and I don't think the actress did a bad job. I just think she's kind of an unneeded character who didn't need to exist. And although I definitely can't say I hated her, and I know I can't really say I liked her, I'm just kind of like okay about her. She's alright, you know, that's all there is to say. Next question is from Gameen, and he says, let's face it, the most important question, how much do you like porgs? I think they're alright. From a comedic element, people are saying like, oh, they're the new Jar Jar. No, but they're definitely not like that. They're essentially just like space island chickens. And it's funny because I actually made a joke to my friends about a year ago saying that these porgs are probably gonna get eaten, like Chewbacca's probably gonna eat one, or Luke's gonna eat one, because they're kind of like chickens. And when that scene literally happened in the actual film, me and my friend just busted out laughing because I made that joke and it actually came true, so it was kind of funny. But I think overall, the porgs are cute and cool, so that's good. But I would compare them a lot to the character of Rose. Although it's cool they're there, they don't really have to be. Alright, we got another cheater here, but I'm going to try it anyways. So this is from Atu Sari. Sorry if I butchered your name. I'm pretty sure I got it right though. And so the first question is, do you believe Snoke actually died? Maul survived kind of the same wound. The next one is, what do you think about Phasma after the film? And the third one is, do you hate the movie like most people because what they did to Luke? So let's answer number one first. First off, Snoke is dead. But I do think that there is someone controlling Snoke's body. We've seen this done in the Legends with Vitiate and Valkorion. I just think it'd be a waste for all that power to just kind of disappear and not be seen again. I do believe there is still a very powerful being out there actually controlling Snoke, and maybe he has a few other puppets out there too, so maybe we'll see them in episode 9. Whatever the case, although I will say Snoke is definitely dead, I do believe there is still a puppet master out there still pulling the strings, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. The next question is, how did you feel about Phasma? Man, I can't believe that Phasma got even more underutilized in this film. I mean, it was cool to see her do stuff, and I actually think she's still alive, by the way. But overall, she was in the film for like, what, 2 minutes? And it's just kind of like, what a cool character to just be wasted. I just hope that episode 9 gives her something to do. And for your third question, do I hate this film? No, I do not hate this film. Like I said in my podcast video that I actually just did recently, there'll be a link in the description below. This film, in my opinion, is a solid 8 out of 10. And although I feel Luke didn't have to die the way he did, I'm still not 100% against it either. Next question is from Jonas, and he said, what did you think about Luke force projecting himself? I honestly thought it was pretty cool. You know, when Luke first showed up, I saw him and I was looking at him and I was like, wait a second, that lightsaber that he has on his belt, that just blew up. Why does he have that? Also, when they were shooting him with all the different guns, I was thinking, how did he survive that? Maybe he had a force shield or something? Then he's moving around and dodging all of Kylo's shots like he's not even trying. So when it was finally revealed that it was just a force projection, it honestly just blew my mind because we've never seen something like this ever, or at least not in the canon. So I do believe it was an interesting way to kind of send Luke out, but I definitely don't think he had to die after that. There was definitely a lot more stuff that could have happened with Luke down the road in episode 9, but I guess that's just the way it is. So that's all the question we have for the Last Jedi specific Ask Net. If you would like to have your question featured in the next Ask Net, let me know your questions in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn notifications for more Star Wars content, and until next time guys, I'll catch you later. Peace.